Good morning, everybody. This is What's Your IQ? Let's talk about your impact quotient with Nancy Barbie. And I am thrilled today. I'm going off topic a little bit. I've been doing a lot of Rotary podcasts and a lot of In Polio Now podcasts. I'm going off just a little bit, but I think it ties in well, and it's an interesting guest that I have this morning that I think you're going to really enjoy getting to know. Karren Urban from Italy. But guess what? She was originally from the United Kingdom. She's a adventure hound. She loves to do different things. That she's an entrepreneur. She and her husband moved to Italy, and they are entrepreneurs. And that she's an author, and she's also an artist. So welcome, Karen. It's so good to see you after such a long time.
Oh, it's so nice to see you, Nancy, and thank you so much for inviting me on here. I know we've spoken about it for a while, and it's absolutely wonderful to be here with you.
I'm delighted myself. I'm delighted myself. Okay, tell me now. You used to be in the UK. What were you doing there? I mean, what was your profession? What were you doing in the UK?
Well, I was an artist when I was living in the UK. Obviously, not obviously, there's no obvious about anything, but I was born in the UK, lived in the UK, did various jobs through my life. But I was an artist, and then prior to us moving here, I wasn't really working because I'd been very ill with sepsis, and subsequently, I was diagnosed with a chronic autoimmune disease called ankylosing spondylitis. And for those of you that haven't heard of that before, if you can't pronounce it, it took me at least 2 years to do it. It's AS for short. So it's a chronic form of arthritis, and I was very ill with it. So for quite a few years prior to our moving to Italy, I wasn't really doing anything. I was managing my health, painting when I could, but I wasn't really exhibiting until 2019 when I managed to do a solo show for the first time in years. I managed to actually put new work together, which was fantastic. And that happened to be just before we came on a month-long holiday to Italy. And that holiday completely changed our lives. My husband and I, subsequently from that holiday in 2019, we came to visit a town in Molise. I'm actually wearing this. There's a joke here in Italy that says Molise non esiste, because it's one of the little known regions. It's one of the smallest. And even Italians say, no, it doesn't exist. Hence this joke. And yes, it certainly does exist. We came here for lunch with a friend that we had actually met many years prior in Brighton, in England. We came for lunch, and it still feels so strange to say this aloud, but within 1 year of that lunch, we had bought an olive grove, put our house on the market in the UK, and then we came to Italy in our fifth wheel caravan with our two West Highland Terriers that we had at the time. But it wasn't just that we did that within a year, it was also during COVID.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Talk about an adventure. What made you fall in love with Italy and decide to move there? I mean, that's a big, taking a trip is one thing, but then deciding to make a move, a whole lifestyle change. What in the world made you do that?
Do you know, I still so I believe in God. I respect everyone's religions, whatever you believe in or don't believe in. I respect that. That's up to you. But I believe in God. And I believe that God, or if you want to say the universe, has something in mind for all of us. whether or not we actually listen to that when it's being tapped on our skulls is something else. And I honestly believe that that day in San Martino in Pensalis, God was tapping on my head and saying, do you know what? Because I turned around. So if I just backtrack slightly, when we came out here, my brother had moved out here to Abruzzo, which is the next region, the neighboring region. We'd actually come out in our caravan to stay on his land for a month's holiday to visit him and see where he was now living. So Charlie was helping him do some work, and apparently they'd been chatting. David had said, "Oh, why don't have you ever thought of?" So Charlie was coming into the caravan and saying, "Well, what do you think?" And I said, "No, no, 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 I don't think it's for me. As lovely as where he lives is, as lovely as the property is, the views are stunning. I just spent years with my life being very small because of my health. And I didn't want to be stuck on top of a mountain. You know, I and anyway, we weren't even thinking about moving to Italy. We were happy. Um, it just wasn't in my mind. So
Oh,
anyway, we'd then gone for lunch, and as we had left the home of our friend Rosa, we turned the corner in the car, and there we were, and the Adriatic Sea was just spread before us. And I turned round to Charlie and I said, darling, if you really wanted to live in Italy, I would live here. And that was it. It was a throwaway remark. And I didn't think another thing of it. And there you go, I've gone all tingly now because it was just it was just that we'd had this amazing lunch with our old friends. This view was stunning. I felt so comfortable and I said it, but within 1 year we
there,
moved in.
over there. I can understand because I have been there and I know how you feel. I mean, immediately it's, oh my gosh. And I've been to Karen and Charlie's home and seen the scenery that you look at every morning and every evening. And the sunrise and sunset over the view is just outstanding. I'm coming back to this and coming back to about your lifestyle, but I want to make sure that I get to your books and your being an author. Now, what in the world made you decide to do that? I mean, you've written two books now, and I see one of them has been translated into Italian. So, what what made you write a book? Why did you want to do that?
Well, I'm going to tell you another very strange story. So Charlie and I have been together well over 30 years now. And when we first got together, we went along and we got our wills made up. I last will and testament. So when we went to do this, and you're going to this sounds insane, but at the time I hadn't written anything. But I had applied for a writer's creative course, but I hadn't had a chance to do anything with it. And in my will, because I had my daughter before I met my husband. Charlie is her father in her eyes, in my eyes, and unless I'm actually, it doesn't even come into our head that she isn't his
Right.
daughter by birth. Um, but for this story, it's very, very relevant. As I wrote out my will, I'd written all royalties for all my writings are to go to my daughter. Now, that's crazy because I didn't write anything then for years. And when was it? I'm trying to think when it was now. It was only about a year and a half ago, something like that, that all of a sudden I thought, well, I I should write a book about our story. And so, yeah, I sat down and wrote the first one. And of course, I'm a new author. I know I'm not for one moment saying this is, like a Ken Follett or um, I can't even think of my favorite, a Donna Tartt, of course I'm not saying that. But that first book was like a whoosh. It just came out. And it was just wow, okay. I'd written this, but I always said that the first book was the backstory. Then consequently, there will be, or subsequently, sorry, there will be books which continue about building our house and our life, making our life here. So I've now written two books. The second book I'd like to think is better than the first book because I now have a little more experience. And
Right.
I'm hoping number three is going to be even better. So, I'm learning as I go.
Well, I think the books are behind you. Show me the covers. Show me the books. The ones that are behind you, the first one and the second one, and where can I
Okay.
get those books?
So this is book one, Living the Italian Dream. And it is quite a short book. So there are,
It's pretty
let me
long to
see.
me.
Well, just 143 pages. So, what I didn't want to do was fill it full of fluff. I wanted it to be the backstory. And then this is book number two. So, this one is Moving to Malise, and this one is Discovering Malise.
Ah, great.
And so, Living the Italian Dream is the umbrella title of the series. This one has 242 pages
Wow.
of story. So it is, double the size and it starts with us actually arriving here and starting our life and the adventures that happen and it ends as our house starts as the excavation starts and our house progresses. So I've actually started book three now, which will go on with the build and the nightmare of building a house in a country where you don't speak the language, where you're learning. I mean, I'm learning to speak Italian. I can speak Italian, but I am by no means fluent. So, which brings me to my Italian versions
Ah,
which are done with AI. So I don't use AI for my writing, but I have used it for translation. So there's no way my Italian is good enough. So yeah,
I can
they're the
understand.
books.
Yeah, I can understand that. And traveling to Italy, and I know some words, and I do a lot of pointing, you know, and so I can figure out how. Then I've got friends that speak Italian, so when I'm with you or someone else, or Chris or something, they speak Italian. It's like, oh, okay, tell them this is what I want. So this
Absolutely.
it
And we
is
all do that translation app, that not the translation, but the language app, don't we?
absolutely yes,
And we're
yes.
friends on there, and you're doing well. I have to say, you're doing well.
Well, I'm following up with my days, Karen, but could I carry on a conversation with you in Italian? Absolutely not. If
Well, you know what? If you come for 6 months, you will.
I'm going to, if I were to speak to you in Italian, you would have to follow the script that I know. If you didn't do that, it would be all over. I just stand there and look at you kind of funny. But anyway, but I tell you, this is so exciting I mean, what a lifestyle change. And, you know, this is a midlife style change, which is
Oh,
excellent.
you're very generous. It's as I say in the book, Charlie and I are no spring chickens, and it's definitely older than midlife,
Well,
unless I'm going to live to 120.
Well, I think you will. But I'm telling you, it's just wonderful, to see people making a change. It's never too late. It's never too late. But tell me about your entrepreneurship. So not only did she write some books when she got there, and she sells them, and you can find them on Amazon, and the link will be in my post when I post this video. And and this podcast, and it'll be in the links, and so you can see where you can get those books. They're very. I have read book one, not book two yet, but I'm reading book one for the second time, just to make sure I absorbed everything. So I'm sort of saving it because I'm going on a trip later. I'm sort of saving it for the airplane ride. So so something to read when I get on the airplane. But not only did they make a complete lifestyle change, learn the language. She's learned the language. Charlie is learning the language as well, I think.
His Italian has improved so much since you were last here. I'm quite gobsmacked sometimes. He'll come out with things, I'll go, wow, Charlie. Yeah, he's doing really well.
All about immersion, isn't it? And living in a place and staying there. So that makes a big difference. But they're entrepreneurs too. You said earlier that you bought a an olive field or olive grove. So tell me what type of businesses you have created. Uh, since
Well, we so we knew when we came that we would need to have an income. So right from the very beginning, our plan was always to do Airbnb. It
okay,
was always our plan. So I remember sort of and being a painter, an artist, it's very easy for me to sit there and scribble and, you know, design things. So I had designed how I wanted the house to be, how I wanted to use the rooms. We're a working olive grove, so the outside is not manicured lawns by any means. There's uneven paths. We've got about 120 olive trees.
okay, wow.
Um, and we've just finished our olive harvest, and the oil is just beautiful. Well, I think you've tasted our olive oil, Nancy.
I
Yeah.
say I savor it.
Yeah.
I have about this much left now, but I'm savoring it for a special occasion. So yeah, it's delicious, delicious,
And
very.
ours is organic. Charlie, um, I mean, wow, hats off to him because he has learnt so much about looking after the trees, caring for the trees. Now, two very important people in our story are Mama and Rosa. And Mama taught Charlie so much. He's listened to so much information that she imparts. And then he's used things like YouTube and things like that and gleaned so much information. And he has done an absolutely fantastic job. So he looks after the olives, and then we sell our olives, and we also have some of our own oil. So we don't sell the olive oil, but we sell our olives.
Okay.
So yeah, to
So
make oil.
you said it's a working Airbnb. So do you mean to tell me that if I wanted to come to your Airbnb, I could come during the olive season and I could actually pick the olives? I could actually help process. What I mean,
Well,
tell me what.
that is something we're hoping to do. No, what I actually meant was, sorry, I didn't make myself very clear. What I mean, but it's a working olive grove, so it's not a manicured, sort of very plush
Okay.
grounds that have got sprinklers and things. We have water shortages here in Molise in the summer. So sometimes, the grass gets yellow in the summer. So I would never mislead anyone. You don't come here in August and expect to see, beautifully manicured green lawns. It's not like that. This is a working olive grove. But the rooms are five-star rooms.
Ah,
We've only got two, but they each have their own terrace. They have an ensuite. They're nice rooms. They've got phone chargers and bedside lights and air conditioning and everything that you need. And the views are stunning from both terraces. You see the Adriatic. One of our rooms is called the Tremiti Island View Room because you can literally sit up in bed with your coffee and look at the Tremiti Islands. And have you been to the Tremiti Islands yet?
Not yet, not yet. Colleen and I were just talking about this just the other day, and I said I want to do that, and there's some other places that I want to go when I come again, and I'd love to take because she was telling me. And when I say Colleen, folks, this is my dear friend that you've heard me speak of before. She's been with me to India so many times, but she has an apartment, huge apartment in Molise in San Martino de Pensacola as well, and I've been to her house many many times. So it is a lovely when it's a lovely when Karen said that it was not really recognized that much about from even the Italians. It's a lovely place. You wouldn't normally go there. I don't think, most of the time when people go to Rome, especially for the first time or second time, they want to go to the big cities. Rome and Venice and Florence and those places, which are absolutely stunning, absolutely lovely. But if you want to go to a place that is quiet, it is easygoing people. People are so sweet, so helpful. You walk into the little town and they don't speak very English very well. And someone like me that doesn't speak Italian very well we can communicate, Karen. I'm just amazed we can communicate. They're so helpful. They want to help you, and it's just a lovely place to walk around, take it easy. So if you want to go to a place and certainly go to Rome, certainly go to Venice, certainly go to Florence, go to the big cities, see the things, go to Tuscany, see all the wineries. But then when you want to have a place to relax and just take it easy and actually be in a city that is true Italian, that you won't see the big tourist areas and you won't see a lot of tourists there. You need to come to that. You need to come here. And her Airbnb, Karen and Charlie's Airbnb would be the perfect place for you to be. The perfect place. She also cooks. I just wanted to say that, throw that in.
Oh,
She's also a
thank you.
great cook and a great host. It's just a lot of fun.
But we have to add there, sorry to interrupt you, but we have to add there is one proviso. So we are all inclusive. We welcome everybody. However, if you don't like dogs, I'm really, really sorry. We're not the place for you because we have three, and two of them are Abruzzese pastoral sheepdogs. One is West Highland Terrier, and they are family. They do not get tied up. We come and greet our guests with them. They then accept our guests. In fact, they guide them up to their rooms and back when they come home in the evenings. But that is the one thing. So we are all inclusive. All people are welcome unless you don't like or are frightened of dogs, then unfortunately we aren't the place for you.
Thank
Yeah, that's all I
for
say.
adding that too, because that's very important. So, because some people are afraid of dogs and some people do,
Yes.
which is fine. But thank you for adding that because that is important to know. But the dogs are sweet. I've met two of them. One of them, I have not met the other one, and I've
Oh,
not
you
met the two
haven't
new
met
ones.
Daisy yet, have you?
No, I've not met. I've not met.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Anyway, but one of them sat on my chair right behind my head and sort of sniffed my neck. It felt very nice, very lovely.
I think she was kissing you.
So she was rubbing my neck, so it was very nice. But I happen to like dogs and animals in general, so that's okay. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Karen, this has been so lovely, and I don't want to keep you forever. Anything that you want to add and tell the people, or tell them more about your adventure before we hang up?
Well, I would